gonna take some slip, put it down on the base where you've created your scoring marks. And then we're gonna attach our first coil to the base there. Watch how I wiggle it onto that texture so I know that it's stable. Have a little bit of extra. You can use your hands, your fork, or a pencil, because I know we're distance learning and not all of us have the clay tools to just cut that extra clay off. To ensure that it's very stable, I also cross-hatch the ends and slip them together as well, like so. And then I just squish them together, smooth it out with my fingertips. And then I take my fingertip and I also smash the inside of the coil so that it attaches to the base really well. You don't have to do this with every coil. I do this with my first coil just to make sure that it's a very sturdy base to my piece. Next, I'm going to grab just a little bit of water and smooth it out. Make sure it's just a little bit of water, guys. You don't want to over wet your clay because then it'll just be a muddy mess and it will collapse on itself. All right, we're ready for the next coil. You know what to do. Don't forget to cross hatch with your scoring marks on every coil. So the bottom coil gets the scoring marks and so does the top coil as you're building. And you're going to attach the scored texture and with the slip to each other. And just wiggle that down. You guys are doing an awesome job. A helpful hint if you find that your scoring texture is on your coils and you don't want that to be shown on the outside of your piece, just take some water, smooth it out with that on the surface. Also, if you want to smooth out your coils completely on the outside so that you don't have the coil texture, you can take your hands or a credit card at home. Normally we would use a rib tool for this in class, but we are distance learning, so we're working with what we got. And you can just smooth your coils together so that you don't see that texture. I want you guys to look at these two pieces again. You'll notice that these students embellished their pieces with arches and different swirls and also spheres. And I'll show you how you can make these and attach them to your piece so you can make your coil pots decorative like this as well. All right, so the spheres are super easy to make. You're going to take a little chunk off of the clay that you warmed up and you're gonna work it in your hands into a small ball. Next, to attach it to your clay body, you're going to use the scoring method. Take your fork, choose a side of your sphere to score, and cross hatch it like so. Then take your slip, put it on that clay body, and then decide where you're going to attach it, score the area in which you're going to attach it, add some slip, and then wiggle that onto your piece like so. I'm also going to take my fingertip and smash the clay down onto the base there so that it is stable. And there you have a sphere. I'm going to make a whole row of spheres to continue making my base with this coil method. Arches are also super simple. You're going to roll out a coil, section it out like so, And then you are going to use your slip and your scoring method to attach your arches. Curve that arch like so. If it cracks, make sure that you're using water to revive your clay. And score the bottom of your arch with your fork. Then decide where you're going to attach it to your coil piece. Score where those little legs meet the surface, and then add slip to both of those areas on your base and your arch. Wiggle it down so that you can stabilize it. I'm going to use the fingertip again to smash it down into the base so that it's more stable. Grab a little bit of water and smooth it out. It's really fun to create arches in these pieces. Once you've done a few rows of arches, it gives it a really nice look. You can put a little tea light inside your piece, and then the light shines through it. I'm going to add some small coils, like those little snail shells that I showed you when I made that base. And same concept, even with the smaller coils. Just roll out a small coil, take your fork, score the inside. You can use slip or you can use water, and then just curl it in on itself. You'll notice that I wiggle it to make sure that it's attached. I'm satisfied with what size this is, so I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to keep making these little snail shell coils to attach to my piece. Once you're finished with your embellished row of designs, you're going to make another coil and build upon that. And I wanted to make sure to remind you guys to score by making those cross hatches in your coil, and also on every single little swirl, arch, sphere that you've created on your embellished row. Be very careful when, scoring the tops of these, because you don't want to destroy them. But you want to make sure that you score the embellished row and the coil so that it attaches successfully. If you forget to do this while it's drying, it will fall apart. These coils and arches and spheres will just pop right out, either before the fire, during the greenware stage, or while it is firing. Next, take your slip. Make sure to put slip on each and every section that you scored. That includes the coil that you're going to attach to the top. And then very, very carefully attach that row. Wiggle it on, maybe even smash it on the inside with your fingertips just to ensure that it's secure. Make sure that you score both sides of the coil at the ends, add your slip, and wiggle them together as well, and smooth them out with your fingertips. Well, and there you go. So this is the building process for coil. And you can make your pieces as tall and as detailed oriented as you want. have some fun with this, guys. I can't wait to see all of the awesome things that you create. Okay, when working with the coil building method, you might have to take a break and come back to it after a few hours or after a day or two. And you're gonna wanna preserve your clay to the best of your ability. And to do that, you're gonna want a damp washcloth or rag. Make sure that it's damp and not soaked. If it's too wet, it will cause your piece to collapse on itself, and you don't want that to happen. If you're worried about it collapsing, go ahead and grab some of your newspaper, crumple it up, and put it inside your piece so that it keeps its shape. Next, put that damp washcloth over the top, like so, and a plastic bag, either a plastic shopping bag, a garbage bag, some sort of plastic covering that you can cover your piece with so that it locks in that moisture and it doesn't start to dry out on you before you're finished building it. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn about the coil building method. Have fun when creating these projects. They are so awesome and they can make great gifts too. If you have any questions or you need extra clay, make sure to email me at cmaxwell@squimschools.org. And stay creative, everybody. Take care. See you next time.